The opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Cunanan. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun: politics, business, sports, even food. But tonight's topic is about health, and very timely because we are in the middle of the rainy season, the typhoon season. And as everyone who lives in the beautiful Far East knows, the beautiful tropics, when there rains, there are also all sorts of nasty diseases. One particularly nasty disease is dengue, which claims hundreds, even thousands of lives in the Philippines, as well as other tropical and subtropical countries all over the world. Now, what is dengue? How does one get dengue? What are the remedies to dengue? Joining us today to talk about this in our special called Dengue, What You Need to Know is Dr. Eva Irene Maglonzo, and she is the Vice President of the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians.
Good evening, Buddy.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Irene, and welcome to Philippines Uncut.
It's nice to be here and share our information on dengue.
Yes, and you know, ma'am, very timely because really the incidences of dengue have been on the increase in the last few years. Yes. And we all know someone who's fallen ill from dengue, and it really is an awful disease. But before we talk about dengue, let's talk about your background. You are the Vice President of the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians. What is this organization about?
So the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians is composed of about 6,000 members, and these members have been trained in the field of family medicine. So what is the scope of family medicine? Family medicine caters from children, adults, and elderly population, where we try to have a biopsychosocial approach in the context of the family.
Okay. Now, your personal background, how long have you been practicing medicine?
I have been practicing since 1991.
Okay, and you graduated from which medical school?
UST.
With so you finished your medical proper in UST,
yes.
University of San Tomas, and then for your specialization, where did you go and what did you take?
I had my residency in family medicine at UPPGH.
Now, being this organization, the Philippine Academy of Family Physicians, you guys have really identified dengue as one of the threats, really, to family health. How bad is the situation now with dengue?
Actually now, based on World Health Organization data, there's an increasing trend all over the world as far as dengue is concerned. But here in the Philippines, our statistics or our data is really not reflective of the true picture. But based on what we have for the Department of Health, they say that it's increasing incidence, and in 2009 to 2010 there's an increase, but they say that in 2011 there's a decrease. Now, why is this so? Because based on surveillance, not everybody is reporting the cases of dengue.
Wow.
So that's the problem. Or others, they don't consult the hospital at once. They don't even know that they have dengue.
So some people actually get this illness and they don't go to the hospital and they get well at home.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, now before we go there, let's talk about this illness. What causes it?
It's actually from a mosquito bite.
Okay.
Yes, the mosquito is called Aedes aegypti, and the other species is the Aedes albopictus.
So there are two species that
Yes.
cause dengue. Now, how many strains of dengue are there? I understand that there's not just one.
Yes, there are 4 serotypes or strains of dengue.
Okay. Now, if you get one of these 4, does it mean that you're immune from that one or all 4?
Not necessarily, because sometimes you get the first serotype, then the next time you can also get the second serotype.
No, but
That's why there's no immunity.
no, but let's say you get one, the first type,
Yeah.
and you get once. Does it mean that you can't get it again?
You can get it again.
So dengue is an illness that you can get again. You know, because I
Yes.
was under the impression that you get immune from dengue.
No, it's not like chickenpox where you get
my.
immune. No?
No, because I actually got dengue a few years ago, and then I did some research, and I found out that there are actually several types, and I understand from you now there are 4 types. But all this time, I was under the impression that I was already immune to
No,
one type of.
you can still get it.
Oh my gosh! Okay. Now, okay, so it's caused by a mosquito. What happens? Like, let's say I'm bitten today. What goes on in the body that eventually leads to dengue fever?
So you get the infection, then if you have the infection, there will be certain manifestations on the patient and also changes in the laboratory parameters of the patient.
Okay, when you say changes, we're talking about physically. I mean, with the patient. I mean, the patient will start manifesting symptoms. How long is incubation period from the time one is bitten to the time the first symptoms come out?
Usually you will have fever, then the incubation period will be usually for 2 to 7 days.
So from being bitten, 2 to 7 days before you get the first symptoms of dengue.
Yes, but there are varying symptoms. It's not only the fever.
What are the symptoms?
So you can have the fever, then others will have accompanying symptoms of vomiting, or others will have rash. Then the others also have the body malaise, the headache, and pains all over the body, like abdominal pain also.
No, that's the problem, because with dengue, all these symptoms, I mean, pardon me for, I'm a medical lay person, but all these symptoms you just mentioned to me sound like the seasonal flu.
Yes.
So
there's a criteria, like they say, if you have the fever from 2 to 7 days, plus 2 of those symptoms that I have mentioned, then it's probable dengue. It's still probable. It's not yet definitive.
Okay.
Then you still have to observe the patient and do some assessment.
Okay.
So the assessment that are being done will be the laboratories. So you have to have your blood test, the CBC.
yes,
The complete blood count together with the platelets.
Okay.
So if there are derangements in these, like for example, your platelet went down and also there's an increasing in your hematocrit, then we can say that it's dengue.
Okay, let's talk about fever, because this is probably the first symptom that comes out. In my case, it was really fever. It started
Yeah.
low grade, and then it eventually shot up to 38, in the high 38s. And so when one gets fever with dengue, is it a constant high fever, or does it fluctuate between high and low? What is the usual nature of the fever?
Usually it's moderate to high grade fever.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that if the fever stops, no, you're already free from dengue, because there's a critical period.
Okay.
So the critical period is when your temperature goes down, when you're afebrile. Then after that,
Define go down. I mean, how go down to normal from high, or
yeah,
what does
to
that mean?
normal.
Okay.